The 1968 D Mint Mark I dime is one of those fascinating pieces of U.S. coinage history that continues to spark curiosity, excitement, and appreciation among collectors and numismatists worldwide. And while at first glance it may appear to be just another Roosevelt dime from the post-silver era, a closer look at its background, mintage, features, and collector demand reveals why this coin has earned a reputation for being far more than just spare change. Because its estimated market value of around $600 in the right condition transforms it into a highly desirable piece of numismatic treasure, especially for those who understand the combination of rarity, historical importance, and condition that contribute to its appeal. To begin with, the 1968 D-dime was minted at the Denver Mint, which is why the coin bears the distinctive D Mint mark on the obverse. And this coin belongs to the Roosevelt dime series, which started in 1946, created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away in 1945, and whose leadership through the Great Depression and World War II left a lasting legacy on the nation, making him an obvious and fitting figure to feature on the dime, particularly because of his association with the March of Dimes campaign to combat polio. By 1968, the U.S. Mint had already transitioned away from 90% silver dimes to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to the rising costs of silver in the mid-1960s, meaning that this dime was composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to an inner pure copper core, giving it a total weight of 2.27 grams and a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, a composition that has remained standard for U.S. dimes to this day. So from a metal content perspective, the coin is not intrinsically valuable, but its worth comes from its collectability, condition, and historical interest. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, with the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the year of mintage, 1968, and the small D mint mark placed near the date, while the reverse of the coin shows the torch, olive branch, and oak branch design symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, with the inscriptions United States of America, a pluribus unum, and one dime, making it an attractive yet simple coin design that collectors have appreciated for decades. When it comes to the 1968 D-dime's rarity and market value, the truth lies in the details of coin grading and collector demand. Because while millions of these dimes were produced for circulation, only a very small number have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition or with certain minting anomalies that make them stand out from the rest. And these are the coins that can fetch values as high as $600 or even more in some cases. The grading of coins is one of the most important factors in determining their value. And for a coin like the 1968 D-dime, grades from agencies such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, can make all the difference. A circulated dime with wear and tear may only be worth face value, but an uncirculated specimen graded at MS-65 or higher can become a true treasure, commanding hundreds of dollars from eager collectors. Collectors especially prize coins that are full-band dimes, meaning that the horizontal bands on the torch on the reverse of the coin are fully struck and clearly defined, as these details indicate a sharp strike and high-quality minting, which can dramatically increase the coin's desirability and value, pushing the price well into the $600 range or beyond in today's numismatic market. Another reason for the appeal of the 1968 D-dime lies in its transitional period history, because the late 1960s was a turbulent era for U.S. coinage, with major changes in composition, minting policies, and collector engagement. And while many people saved silver coins from before 1965, fewer thought to set aside the clad dimes of the late 1960s, meaning high-grade survivors are far scarcer today than one might expect from their original mintages, creating a situation where coins like the 1968 D-dime become much more valuable in pristine condition than common silver dimes of earlier years. Additionally, mint errors and die varieties can make certain 1968 D-dimes even more valuable, as error coins such as off-center strikes, double dies, missing elements, or misaligned dies are highly collectible, and a 1968 D dime with one of these rare errors can sell for significantly more than $600, sometimes reaching thousands of dollars at auction, which is why collectors are always on the lookout for unique specimens. The market value of the 1968 D dime also reflects broader trends in coin collecting, because coins from the modern clad era are slowly gaining recognition as collectible pieces in their own right. As older silver coins become increasingly expensive and harder to acquire, so collectors are turning to these overlooked clad coins and appreciating them for their historical and design value, which in turn drives up prices for rare and high-grade examples. This is why a coin like the 1968 D dime, though once overlooked as ordinary change, is now appreciated as a rare collectible with a $600 price tag, especially for coins in superb gem condition or with recognized era varieties. For collectors hoping to determine whether they have a valuable 1968 D dime, the steps are straightforward yet crucial. Examine the coin's overall condition. Check for signs of full band detail. Consider whether the coin may be an era variety, and if the coin looks promising, submit it to a reputable grading service for certification, as certified coins command far higher prices on the market and provide assurance to buyers of authenticity and condition. Auction houses, coin shows, online marketplaces, and reputable dealers are the best venues for selling such coins. And given today's strong interest in modern U.S. coinage, a top-grade 1968 D dime could easily attract enthusiastic bidding. To sum it up, the 1968 D Mint Mark I dime is not just a small piece of clad metal but a historical artifact from a significant era in American coinage, a testament to the enduring legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt, and a collectible that stands out due to its scarcity and top condition, its design details, and its connection to a transitional time in U.S. minting history. With a market value of $600 for the best examples, this dime represents the perfect blend of affordability and rarity, making it an exciting discovery for everyday finders and a valuable addition for serious collectors, reminding us once again that hidden treasures often lie in the most unexpected places, even in a humble dime. Next up, the 1965 No Mint Mark I dime is one of the most intriguing coins in modern U.S. numismatic history, because while at first glance it looks like just another Roosevelt dime from circulation, its story, composition, and collector demand tell a far deeper tale of transition, rarity, and value, which is why today this coin can command as much as $800 in the right grade and condition, making it one of the most desirable clad dimes of its era. To understand why the 1965 dime is so special, we need to go back to its historical context. Since 1965 was the very first year the United States Mint completely abandoned silver coinage in the dime, quarter and half-dollar denominations, transitioning instead to a copper-nickel-clad composition that remains the standard to this day. And the reason for this change was the rising price of silver during the early 1960s. Which meant the intrinsic metal value of silver coins was approaching or even exceeding their face value, leading to hoarding, shortages in circulation, and increased costs for the mint. Up until 1964, U.S. dimes were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, but beginning in 1965, the composition shifted to an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving the coin a weight of 2.27 grams, a diameter of 1791 millimeters, and a reeded edge with no intrinsic precious metal content, which was a monumental change in the history of American coinage. The 1965 dime, like other clad dimes of the era, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and does not carry any mint mark. As the Mint suspended the use of mint marks between 1965 and 1967 to discourage coin hoarding by collectors, since they believed the lack of mint marks would reduce the tendency for people to set aside coins from certain mints. And ironically, this decision has only added to the intrigue of coins from this transitional period, because collectors today actively seek them out. The obverse of the 1965 dime continues to feature the left-facing bust of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinnock in 1946, with the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1965, while the reverse showcases the torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, with the words "United States of America," a pluribus unum, and one dime, symbols of liberty, peace and strength that make this design one of the most enduring in modern coinage. While millions of 1965 dimes were minted and circulated, what makes the coin valuable and allows it to reach market prices as high as $800 is the combination of condition, rarity of high-grade survivors, and in some cases unique minting anomalies, because most of these dimes saw heavy circulation, and finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition with sharp details and lustrous surfaces is extremely difficult. Collectors especially prize coins that display full torch bands, often referred to as full bands or FB, meaning that the horizontal lines on the torch are fully struck and separated, which demonstrates an excellent strike quality. Such details are rare for clad coins of the mid-1960s, and when present, they significantly increase the coin's value, sometimes pushing the price into the hundreds of dollars for gem-quality examples. In addition, error coins and transitional varieties make the 1965 dime an even more exciting pursuit for collectors, as there are examples of 1965 dimes that were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver planchets intended for 1964 dimes, and these error coins are extremely rare and can sell for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars at auction, far beyond the typical $800 market value of a high-grade clad example, proving once again how important it is to carefully check coins for unique characteristics. Another reason for the enduring popularity of the 1965 dime is its position as the first-year issue of the clad Roosevelt dime series, making it historically significant in the evolution of U.S. coinage, since it marks the moment when everyday coinage shifted permanently away from silver, a decision that shaped American numismatics forever. And many collectors want to own a specimen from this pivotal year as part of a complete Roosevelt dime set or as a standalone collectible, representing the end of silver. Coin grading plays an enormous role in determining the value of a 1965 dime, as coins certified by professional grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, can achieve much higher prices than raw, uncertified coins because buyers feel more secure about the authenticity and grade. For example, while a circulated 1965 dime may only be worth its face value of 10 cents, an uncirculated coin graded MS-65 or higher, especially one with full bands designation, can bring hundreds of dollars, and at the very top end, superb gem coins can easily reach or exceed the $800 range depending on demand at auction. Collectors and investors are increasingly paying attention to modern clad coins like the 1965 dime, which for decades were overlooked in favor of older silver issues. But as silver coins have become scarcer and more expensive, numismatists are recognizing the importance and rarity of high-grade clad coins, fueling demand and driving prices upward. The $800 market value associated with this coin today is a reflection of that trend, showing how what was once dismissed as just pocket change is now appreciated as a valuable collectible and a piece of American monetary history. When it comes to selling or trading a 1965 no-mint-mark dime, the best venues include online auction platforms like eBay, numismatic auction houses such as heritage auctions, coin shows, or reputable coin dealers, and sellers should always consider having the coin professionally graded if it appears to be in exceptional condition, as certification can multiply its value by giving buyers confidence. Ultimately, the 1965 no-mint-mark dime is a fascinating coin because it embodies both historical significance and collector value, serving as a bridge between the silver coinage of America's past and the clad coinage of the modern era. And with a market value of $800 in top condition, it proves once again that even small, seemingly ordinary coins can hold great worth for those who know where to look. For collectors, owning a 1965 dime in high grade is more than just acquiring a coin. It is about preserving a piece of history that tells the story of economic change, the challenges of rising silver prices, and the innovative solutions of the U.S. Mint, making this dime not just a collectible, but a symbol of an important turning point in the nation's coinage tradition. Next up, The 1982 P Mint Mark I dime is a fascinating coin that has captured the attention of collectors and numismatists for decades, not only because of its history but also due to its surprising market value, which today can reach as high as $100 depending on condition, rarity, and collector demand. To understand why such a seemingly ordinary dime could command such an extraordinary price, one must look deeply into the background, minting details, and circumstances surrounding this coin's production. The dime of 1982 was struck during a transitional era in United States coinage when the Philadelphia Mint began consistently placing a mint mark P on coins for the first time, a practice that had not been standard for many denominations in earlier decades. This marked a turning point in the U.S. Mint's approach to identity and tracking production, and for the dime in particular, it created new varieties and rarities that collectors would later discover to be extremely valuable. The obverse of the dime, designed by John R. Sinnock, features the bust of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a design introduced in 1946 to commemorate his contributions to the nation and his association with the March of Dimes campaign, which had raised funds to fight polio, a disease Roosevelt himself had struggled with. On the 1982 P dime, the portrait retains the same distinguished look, with Roosevelt's left-facing profile, the word liberty inscribed along the left side, "In God We Trust," below his chin, and the date 1982 placed prominently near the bottom right. The small P mint mark, located just above the year, represents the Philadelphia Mint, which was a significant development since prior to the 1980s. Philadelphia coins often carried no mint mark at all. The reverse of the coin remains unchanged from earlier Roosevelt dimes, with a torch in the center symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left for peace and an oak branch on the right for strength and independence, with the Latin motto E pluribus unum appearing prominently to reinforce the nation's ideals of unity from diversity. What makes the 1982 P dime stand out among other Roosevelt dimes is the combination of its transitional historical context and the fact that minting practices in this year produced some unique varieties that later gained attention. In 1982, there was a significant issue involving the omission of the P mint mark on some dimes struck at the Philadelphia Mint, creating an era variety known as the no P dime, which became one of the most famous error coins in modern U.S. numismatics. While the standard 1982 dime with the P mint mark may appear more common, its connection to this transitional year makes it extremely collectible, and when found in pristine condition, uncirculated, with full original luster and sharp strike, it can command values that shock even experienced collectors. A well-preserved 1982 P dime graded by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC can fetch up to $100, and this price is not arbitrary. It reflects a blend of scarcity in higher grades, the historical importance of the mint mark transition, and the ever-growing demand among collectors for dimes from this era. Coin grading plays a vital role here because while millions of these coins were produced, only a fraction have survived in gem mint state condition. Circulated examples found in pocket change today may only be worth face value or a small premium, but those preserved in uncirculated rolls, mint sets, or discovered as brilliant uncirculated singles can bring in significant sums at auction. Collectors are particularly interested in coins that grade MS-65 and above, as these are the specimens that truly showcase the quality of the strike and the brilliance of the design. Furthermore, the cultural and historical narrative behind this coin adds another layer of intrigue. Roosevelt's portrait on the dime serves as a lasting tribute to his presidency and leadership during some of America's most challenging times, including the Great Depression and World War II. The 1982 P dime represents both continuity in design and change in minting practices, making it symbolic of the transition from older traditions to modern coinage identity. Auction houses and online coin marketplaces often highlight these coins, and bidding wars can occur when a particularly high-grade example is made available. This demand demonstrates that collectors are not only interested in ancient or centuries-old coins, but also recognize the importance and value of modern-era coins when rarity and historical significance intersect. Adding to its appeal, the 1982 P-dime is part of a larger narrative of American coin collecting, where transitional years and small minting anomalies have created treasures worth thousands of dollars. For instance, the no P-dime from the same year can reach prices far higher than the standard P mint mark dime, but this should not overshadow the fact that even the regular P variety, in top-grade condition, stands as a collectible gem. For coin hunters and everyday people checking their pocket change, finding such a dime in circulation today would feel like striking gold, since most high-value examples have long been scooped up by collectors or preserved in private collections. The market value of $100 is a testament to how modern numismatics evaluates not only age and rarity, but also the story and condition of a coin. Many collectors specifically look for 1982 P-dimes in mint state as part of complete Roosevelt dime sets, and without this coin, the collection feels incomplete, raising its demand and value. It also serves as an excellent example of how modern coins, often overlooked by casual observers, can become surprisingly valuable over time. The 1982 P-dime highlights how even small coins can carry big stories, and it reminds us that every piece of change has a history worth exploring. The combination of transitional minting practices, Roosevelt's enduring legacy, the introduction of the P mint mark as a new standard, and the scarcity of high-grade specimens all contribute to the coin's impressive valuation. Collectors today see it not merely as a 10-cent coin, but as a tangible piece of history that bridges the gap between the old traditions of American coinage and the modern era of numismatic precision. Anyone who comes across one of these coins in uncirculated condition should consider having it professionally graded and appraised, as the market for such coins remains strong and prices continue to rise. In a world where collectors are always searching for the next rarity, the 1982 P-dime proves that even everyday coins can transform into valuable treasures, carrying both financial and historical weight that transcends their small size and original purpose. With its current market value reaching up to $100, it is a coin that every serious numismatist should pay attention to, not just as an investment, but as a piece of American history captured in silver-colored copper nickel. For those who collect coins for passion, profit, or historical interest, the 1982 P mint mark dime is a shining reminder that sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest stories, and that a simple dime can become a prized possession worth far more than its face value. Next up, the 1987 D mint mark 1 dime is a remarkable coin in the history of American numismatics, standing out not only for its role in the Roosevelt dime series, but also for its surprising market value today, which can reach as high as $1,900 when found in pristine, uncirculated condition. This dime, minted in Denver and identified by the small D mint mark positioned just above the year 1987 on the obverse, represents an important chapter in modern U.S. coinage, where everyday coins of the late 20th century are now being rediscovered by collectors for their rarity, condition, and historical significance. The obverse of the coin, designed by John R. Sinek, continues to feature the distinguished left-facing bust of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, introduced in 1946 to honor his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and also his legacy with the March of Dimes Foundation, which played a vital role in the fight against polio. The inscriptions "Liberty" on the left, "In God We Trust" beneath Roosevelt's chin, and the year 1987 on the right frame the portrait beautifully, while the mint mark D above the year links the coin to the Denver Mint, one of the key production facilities of the U.S. Mint. On the reverse, the traditional Roosevelt dime design remains, with a torch in the center symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left representing peace and an oak branch on the right signifying strength and independence, accompanied by the national motto E pluribus unum to emphasize unity. While millions of dimes were struck in Denver in 1987, the real story behind the value of this coin lies in its condition and its role in modern collecting trends. Circulated examples of the 1987 D dime are generally worth only face value, since they are common in everyday transactions. But those rare examples preserved in mint state or brilliant uncirculated condition have become highly desirable to collectors. Over the years, collectors have discovered that truly flawless specimens of the 1987 D dime are surprisingly scarce. As the majority of coins were heavily used in commerce and subjected to wear, scratches and dings that reduce their grading potential. This scarcity of high-grade examples has pushed up the value, with coins professionally graded MS-65 and higher commanding hundreds, and in some exceptional cases, even reaching the impressive market value of $1,900. Auction results and private sales have confirmed that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these gems, not only to complete Roosevelt dime sets, but also to invest in coins that bridge the gap between modern circulation and numismatic rarity. The appeal of the 1987 D dime is amplified by the fact that it belongs to a series that has been in continuous production since 1946, making it a coin that connects both past and present. For many collectors, the Roosevelt dime is an iconic symbol of American coinage, and within the series, transitional years and high-grade rarities always command extra attention. The Denver Mint has long been associated with producing large numbers of coins, yet in 1987, as in other years, it faced the challenge of maintaining quality across massive production runs. The result is that while the mintage figures are high, finding a flawless coin that survived untouched is exceedingly difficult, which explains why collectors place such a premium on the few examples that remain in uncirculated brilliance. Grading services such as PCGS and NGC have become essential in determining the value of these coins, as the difference between an MS-64 and an MS-66 can mean the difference between a coin worth a modest premium and one worth close to, $900. Coin grading evaluates not just wear but also strike quality, luster, and the presence or absence of contact marks, all of which matter greatly to collectors chasing perfection. The story of the 1987 D dime also reflects a broader theme in numismatics, that value is not solely determined by age but by a combination of rarity, demand, and condition. While some may dismiss coins from the 1980s as too modern to be valuable, the reality is that many collectors are now turning their attention to these decades, recognizing that pristine coins from high mintage years are much harder to come by than initially assumed. The 1987 D dime exemplifies this phenomenon, showing how a small coin once passed over without a second thought can now become a prized treasure worth nearly $2,000. Collectors are drawn to the challenge of finding such coins, and the thrill of discovering a hidden gem in an old roll of coins or a mint set adds to the excitement. For those who stumble upon one, the decision to have it professionally graded is crucial, as an authenticated high-grade coin carries far more credibility and market value than an ungraded one. The strong collector interest also ensures that the 1987 D dime will continue to be sought after in the coming years, and as supplies of top-quality examples diminish, prices may climb even higher. Beyond its financial worth, the coin carries symbolic meaning, reminding us of Roosevelt's enduring legacy, the Denver Mint's contribution to U.S. coinage, and the fascinating ways in which history and rarity intersect in everyday money. Many people are surprised to learn that a dime from just 1987, still within living memory, can hold such significant value. But this realization underscores the importance of numismatics in teaching us to look more closely at the coins we handle daily. Every coin tells a story, and the 1987 D mint mark dime tells one of perseverance, change, and discovery. For those building Roosevelt dime collections, the coin is an essential piece, not only for completing date and mint sets, but also for the challenge it presents in securing a top-grade example. The $1,900 market value today is a testament to its importance, reflecting both collector passion and market dynamics that reward quality and rarity. Even for non-collectors, the coin serves as a reminder to check pocket change carefully, as treasures can appear where least expected. In a world where many assume modern coins are unremarkable, the 1987 D dime stands as proof that value is hidden in the details, waiting for those with a keen eye and appreciation for history to uncover it. Ultimately, the 1987 D dime is more than just a piece of copper nickel. It is a historical artifact, a collector's prize, and a financial asset rolled into one small package. Whether admired for its design, sought for its rarity, or treasured for its unexpected worth, This dime has earned its place among the notable modern coins of the United States, and with a market value reaching $1,900. It proves that even the smallest coins can carry stories and significance far larger than their size suggests. Next up, the 1907 No Mint Mark I dime is a truly remarkable coin in the world of American numismatics. And while at first glance it might appear to be just another small silver dime from the early 20th century, it carries with it a wealth of history, artistry, and collector value that has allowed it to command impressive prices on today's market, with pristine examples reaching as high as $1,500. This coin is part of the Barber Dime series, which ran from 1892 through 1916 and was designed by Charles E. Barber, the chief engraver of the United States Mint during that era. Barber was known for his conservative and somewhat restrained design style, and his dime reflected both the artistic tastes and the practical demands of the period. The obverse of the 1907 No Mint Mark dime features the head of Liberty, facing right, adorned with a Phrygian cap and a laurel wreath, symbolizing freedom and victory, with the word Liberty clearly inscribed across the headband. Around the portrait, the inscriptions read, United States of America, and the date 1907 is placed prominently below the bust. This portrait of Liberty became a defining feature of American coinage in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, and although not as elaborate or romantic as some earlier designs, it carried a sense of dignity and authority that reflected the United States' growing role on the world stage. The reverse of the coin features a simple but elegant wreath of corn, wheat, maple, and oak encircling the words, "One dime." This wreath design was intended to symbolize the agricultural strength and prosperity of the nation, and while it lacks the intricate detail of later designs such as the Mercury dime, it has an understated charm that resonates with collectors. The No Mint Mark designation indicates that this particular dime was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark during this time. In fact, all Barber dimes struck at Philadelphia carry no mint mark, making the absence of one a standard identifier rather than an error. However, despite its relatively common origin, the 1907 No Mint Mark dime has earned a special place among collectors, particularly when it is found in high-grade condition. Many of these coins circulated heavily during their time, as dimes were a crucial denomination in everyday commerce, used for small purchases, transportation, and daily necessities. As a result, most surviving examples show significant wear, with the details of Liberty's wreath, hair, and facial features worn smooth, and the reverse wreath often appearing flat from decades of use. High-grade examples, particularly those that remain in mint state with full details and luster, are rare and therefore command strong premiums at auction. It is in these top grades that the 1907 No Mint Mark dime can reach market values of $1,500 or more, especially when certified by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC, which provide collectors with confidence in the authenticity and quality of the coin. Beyond its condition rarity, the coin's historical context adds to its allure. In 1907, the United States was entering a period of profound change and modernization. Theodore Roosevelt was president, and his administration was pushing for greater national strength, both economically and militarily. Roosevelt was famously dissatisfied with the designs of U.S. coinage, which he considered uninspired, and he sought to revitalize American coins with new artistry, eventually commissioning Augustus St. Gaudens to redesign the gold coinage. The Barber dime, however, remained in production through this period, representing the old guard of American coin design, even as the winds of change were blowing. Collectors today see the 1907 dime as part of that fascinating transitional era when tradition met innovation in U.S. coinage history. Its silver composition also contributes to its appeal, as it was struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it intrinsic value that ties it to the era of precious metal coinage before the move to base metals later in the 20th century. Each dime contains approximately 0.0723 troy ounces of silver, which adds a baseline of bullion value. But its numismatic premium far outweighs the silver content, especially in high-grade specimens. For modern collectors, the allure of the 1907 no-mint mark dime lies in the challenge of finding a piece with sharp details and minimal wear, as well as the connection it provides to America's economic and cultural story at the beginning of the 20th century. Auction houses often highlight high-grade barber dimes as special offerings, and bidding competition can be fierce, especially for coins with exceptional eye appeal, strong strikes, or attractive natural toning. Even circulated examples in good condition are collected widely, as many enthusiasts strive to complete barber dime sets by year and mint mark, and the 1907 Philadelphia issue is an essential part of that journey. The barber dime series as a whole is beloved by numismatists for its historical resonance, its straightforward yet dignified design, and the challenge of assembling a full set, since some dates and mint marks are extremely rare and expensive. While the 1907 no mint mark dime is not the rarest issue of the series, it represents a sweet spot where affordability meets desirability, making it both accessible to new collectors and valuable in top condition for advanced ones. Its $1,500 market value in mint state serves as a reminder of how much condition matters in numismatics and how coins that were once considered common can transform into treasures over the span of a century. For those lucky enough to discover a well-preserved 1907 dime in an inherited collection, an old coin jar, or a dealer's stock, the opportunity to own a piece of history with such significant value is exciting. Having the coin professionally graded and encapsulated ensures its protection and maximizes its market potential, as collectors are willing to pay far more for certified pieces with a clear grade designation. The enduring demand for this coin also reflects the broader fascination with American silver coinage, which continues to captivate collectors worldwide. In the end, the 1907 no mint mark dime embodies far more than its face value of 10 cents. It tells a story of early 20th century America, of a nation growing in strength and identity, of artistry that bridged tradition and utility, and of the enduring value that small pieces of silver can carry across generations. With its market value today reaching $1,500 in high grades, this coin demonstrates how numismatics transforms everyday money into historical treasures, rewarding those who appreciate both the artistry and the story behind each piece. Whether sought after for completing a barber dime set, admired for its design, or treasured as an investment, the 1907 no mint mark dime stands as a shining example of how even the smallest coins can hold the greatest significance, reminding us that history, rarity, and beauty can be found in the palm of our hands.